Chester Moore, Executive Editor of Texas Fishing Game Magazine at the 2011 ICAST show in Las Vegas. Here with my buddy Robert Center. Actually, the first time I met this guy, but he's been emailing me for about 2 years about color changes in lures and luminescence.
I've been working with Chester, and I've read his article back in 2007, where he basically took fishing lures at the surface and dropped them down below the water and showed the color changes both in iridescent, color, and contrast.
Yep.
And that gave me some motivation to continue with what technology I was trying to develop. And what I have done is I've taken an illumination technology, which is a proprietary polymer, and I couple that optically with an LED. And what I'm able to do is maintain the integrity of the lure at any water depth, dusk, day, or night, degrading water clarity and weather conditions. And you'll find out that red, from what I've learned, goes first in color. And at about 40, 45 feet, it turns a burnt orange, and then below that, it turns black. So the importance of our technology is to maintain the integrity of the lure, both in color, contrast, and iridescence. And I'll show you basically what that is. This is the polymer, and what we're able to do is we can cut into that polymer, and we can make a fish scale around that particular lure that we're trying to imitate. And if you look at these lures, these are prototypes, but I want to show you what happens out of the box. This is what you see. Under the water, they will change. So we're going to go down under and show you what it's going to look like. Both the blue-green lure here on my left hand will maintain that color integrity, and the green as well. It will maintain that integrity no matter how you look at it, below or above. Because fish are mostly sight feeders, so our intention is to maintain that colorization with a polymer. And what's unique about the polymer is there's a sinking polymer and there's a floating polymer. If you look at this red polymer, it's able to sink without the use of lead. And the floating polymer, which is a lighter, more flexible material, will stay on the surface, as you can see over there. So this bait, which is a jig, you can fish at the surface from 5 to 7 feet or right up to the top.
Yeah.
This one you can go down to depth, and then if you take that to the Mariana Trench, it'll still be that color.
Yeah, and that's a neat thing, because I'm thinking a lot of this application immediately for offshore fishing. You're trying to get some of those, especially when fish like you got high barometric pressure or something, they got lockjaw, and you go, man, I know I've had them up toward the surface before, and they hit red. Man, they're 60 feet down, it ain't gonna be red.
That's right.
So now you got a way to do that. And there's also an X factor that I've talked about in some of my own personal fishing research. Don't know how to quantify it necessarily, but I've seen a lot of bait fish and even sport fish light up a little bit of luminescence when they're excited or they're startled. And I've seen luminescent lures catch big flounder because it triggers a reaction.
Right.
So I think you'll have some of that too. I think you're kind of at the beginning of something.
Correct.
That has huge ramifications. And hopefully I'll be catching some kind of a giant record fish in this.
I hope you can break the largemouth bass record, because you deserve it, Chester.
So do I.
You really do.
I've already got the dollar signs. I like to catch the fish, but man, if I catch the record
And
bass.
I'll say one thing, with your flex system, which I have read, the reason this bait is as large as it is, and the baits we do here, and also the bait we're going to have, which is going to be the swimmer bait eventually, we're not after the small fish. We're after the big fish, just like the flex system shows, and that's what we want. It's just fun to catch big fish.
Exactly.
And
it takes more effort, but let's face it.
And more time.
And more time and more money.
But it's a lot more fun.
If you've already graduated that level, where you go, man, it's just fun for me to try to trick the big one.
I agree.
This is where we're
going. I appreciate your time, your efforts, and your mentorship with that.
Oh, man, thank you.
Thank you.